Well. I think we are right. It's hit the fan. So let's dive in and talk about it. Well, hey there, folks. Welcome back to the Prepared Mind channel. Guess what we're going to do? We're going to talk about shit hitting the fan, because it has. I'm going to start right off the bat. Pow! We're going to hit one out of the park in New York City, or rather Queens, New York, which is a suburb. A woman has been arrested. That's right, folks. A woman was arrested. Was she an illegal alien? No. No, she wasn't. No. Was she a drag queen that was giving pedophilic material to children? No. Was she stopping traffic, obstructing emergency vehicles? Was she throwing paint on artwork? Was she destroying other people's property? No, and no. Did she assault police? No. She didn't hospitalize any police. What did she do? She tried getting squatters out of her $1 million family home. That's right, folks. She was arrested in her own home because there was a standoff with a squatter, meaning someone who lives in a residence all of a sudden claims they are part of that residence. I tell you what, folks, I'm moving further south. Fuck it. I'm going to Florida, folks, where squatters very soon will have no rights, where illegals are illegals and they're being stopped before they even hit the shore. I'm going to Florida, folks, where the governor didn't lock everyone down, and when they got pissed, he didn't lock them down for more and more months. Florida, where everybody can carry guns. You don't need a permit. Florida, folks. It's so far south, it is not even south anymore. Right? There's two states, well, that mark kind of the boundaries, the ends, if you will. You got Texas on one side, Florida along the other. And I know there's other great states. Of course there are. But, the ones you keep hearing about is because they have a thing about crime. A thing about crime. In Florida, you molest children, you go to prison. In Florida, you try and do, how do we put this? All the shit they do in every other fucking state. In Florida, if someone is trying to threaten you while you're in your car, you can run them the fuck over because of self-defense. In Florida, stand your ground, castle doctrine, you name it, it's here. Someone comes through your door, you blast them right back out. It's Florida. Land of the free, home of we have fucking rights. And I'm serious. I'm going to dig up the prepared bunker. I'm going to put it on a semi-truck, haul it down to Florida, and I'll find a sinkhole, excavate it out, and set the prepared bunker in the sinkhole. You bet. I'll put a straw out one side into the sand, and I've got fresh water. And I'll have this sewer pipe run out the other side where it'll just sink in the sand. If that's what Florida's made out of, fine. I'll take advantage of it. Anyways, folks, Florida, the South, Texas, Louisiana, where you have rights. Good God, this country's going to shit. I mean, get this. You can't count on Washington, D.C. You can't count on anyone in D.C., the Supreme Court, the legislature, none of them. In fact, let me do this. Let me tell you how shitty the Supreme Court is. They could have picked up this case easy, but they decline it. This is the case of the Indiana couple, right? A mom and a dad, a husband and a wife. They lost custody of their teenage son because they refused to use his LGB lie bullshit pronouns. And the Supreme Court says, you know what? We're not even going to take this case. Why the fuck not? It is incredibly easy. SCOTUS right now are fucking cowards because they could have set these fruitcakes back 30 fucking years by saying, you know what? No one has to call anyone by anything, especially parents and their children. Children are supposed to learn morality, decency, right and wrong, rules from their parents. School is supposed to teach reading, writing, and arithmetic. Instead, school is teaching virtue signaling fucking lies about race, gender, America, everything. The Supreme Court could have fixed it. Nope, nope, and nope. All they had to do was interpret reality. That's all they had to fucking do. Interpret reality. Okay, folks, we're off to a hell of a start on this Tuesday, wouldn't you say? Get your questions, comments, thoughts down below. If you want to talk to me, have me read your thoughts in the second half of the show in the inner circle. What I'm going to need you to do is write everything in all caps, so it'll be easy for me to find them. All caps, if you will. We got a great audience rolling already, so get them in all caps. I'm going to go through my monologue, and then we're going to dive right in and have some fun. Have some fun. Now, I just mentioned Florida, where you have rights. And then I just mentioned Washington, D.C., where they don't seem to know right from wrong. Well, we had Trump up in New York City. He was run through a bullshit kangaroo court lawsuit, told that if he doesn't pay instantly, they're going to seize his property. Well, let's see how this applies. Trump has now filed a lawsuit against the American Broadcasting Corporation, ABC, and their stool pigeon, puppet sack of shit, George Stephanopoulos. I wonder how many times George went down to Little St. James Island on the Lolita Express. I wonder if George ever dressed as a Lolita on the Lolita Express. Anyways, he's suing, Trump is, ABC and George Stephanopoulos because, well, they wanted to call Trump a rapist during an interview with Representative Nancy Mace. Now, I think that's fantastic. Sue the fuck out of him. He should sue them, should he not? And then as soon as he gets any win, he should demand that they pay him instantly, or he should have the government seize all ABC and all of George Stephanopoulos' property, just like Letitia James did, right? Shouldn't the Democrats be stuck dealing with the same Democrat shit? Oh, wait a minute. I forgot. There's two sets of rules. Two sets of rules. I tell you. Well, if you're here on the preparedmind.club or subscribestar.com, I would like to thank you very much. You guys support this channel. Keep us going. I am watching more and more channels drop like flies and disappear, while other ridiculous entertainment channels are flourishing. Is it so good out there that people don't want to know what's going on and that they want to be entertained with make-believe and bullshit? Well, I'm not buying it, folks, but that's all they want you to see. Now, I want to give you guys some generational perspective. You and I, well, the demographics of this channel are ages 40 to 70. 40 to 70. Well, here we are, folks. Our generations are used to, well, you go outside, it's hot, you're going to sweat. You go outside, it's cold, you better put on some clothes, right? You want to go to school and take a test, you better study. You want to play sports, someone's going to win, someone's going to lose. Well, then there's Gen Z. As if the millennials weren't bad enough, Gen Z is suffering, folks. Right? Most of them, no father. Most of them because they're a bunch of incomprehensibly, look, if you've got a job and you've got a grasp on reality and you're Gen Z, I got no problem with you. For the rest of them, though, yeah, no father. They're such a bunch of narcissistic little punks and virtue signaling bitches that they have no friends, no family, no friends. They don't believe in God because they're a bunch of, well, soulless retards. And then they take drugs, mind-bending drugs, to cope with reality, because reality doesn't like the land of make-believe. Truly, folks, Gen Z, except for the conservative types within Gen Z are lost souls now. They don't even know their own gender, and they're willing to accept other people's lies and bullshit as reality. They grew up in the land of mental make-believe, and they don't know the difference. You come out here, you fuck up, you get fired. You shoot your mouth off, you can get bitch slapped down. You want to cry and whine? No one gives a fuck. And that, my friends, is what needs to happen with these idiots. They need to be bitch slapped into line. They need to understand the world doesn't care about them. They're nobody. The same as I'm a nobody, and I have to be completely responsible for myself. I don't rely on anyone else to tell me how good I am and that everyone should listen to me and my opinion matters. No. If you want your opinion to matter, you got to make some sense. You got to make a case, right? You got to have some facts. Instead, it's, oh, I went to school and I'm so smart, you better do what I say, because, you know, that's the world we live in, folks. That's why we're going to shit. If you doubt shit has hit the fan, stand by and watch what happens next. Woo! Wow. I'm telling you, we're in trouble. Are you prepared? Do you have food, water, shelter, clothing, medicine, and a means of self-defense? I sure hope you do. I have so many news stories here. Where do we go next? This is just what happened since we talked in the morning. Now, the other day, Trump used the word bloodbath to describe the auto industry. Well, the left has cut all the words that followed the word bloodbath off to indicate that he was talking about the auto industry. And instead, they made it sound like he's threatening violence in our country. And so even the most noble Nancy Pelosi has decided to take to the microphone and make the lie the reality of Gen Z and other morons by claiming Trump is making a threat. He's promising bloodbath. Well, guess what? The Democrats, the socialists, the Marxists in politics and in the mainstream media, they have a love affair with the word bloodbath. In response to all the left-wing stupidity and accusations against Trump, an intelligent person created a video that has dozens and dozens of times captured from interviews, mainstream media, news channels, in video, all the Democrats, all the left-wing idiots using the word bloodbath again and again and again in reference to Trump, in reference to Biden, in reference to the elections, in reference to the polls. But now that's a hate term. I'm sure that's exactly where they're going. All right, we're halfway through my monologue, and guess what? I need your questions down below. I need them in all caps. All right, let's see. I'm checking things out. I got chin music there. And, you know, of course, we got chin music, right? Get your questions and comments in all caps. That way I can find them easily. There we go. All right. Let's have some more. Let's have some more fun, folks. Guess what? Texas is being allowed to enforce its own laws. Can you believe that one? They can arrest illegals against the Biden regime, the Biden communist regime's desire to keep the border open and flood the country with illegals. Well, the Supreme Court allows Texas to enforce its law. Is that true or false? When I read this, of course, I'm thinking, of course they can fucking enforce their own laws. Who the fuck are these black dress wearing bitches in Washington, D.C. to tell the great state of Texas and all the Texicans there what they can and can't do? Well, it's false. The Supreme Court doesn't make law. It is supposed to see the law, recognize the law, and apply the law. They are not royalty. They are not gods. They don't allow this or deny that. They interpret the law, or at least that's what they're supposed to do. The good part about this ruling is it pisses off Biden. The bad part is, once again, mainstream media use a word like allows, as if to say, well, from on high, for now, you're allowed to enforce your own laws. Folks, if I wanted, and I'm not going to do anything bad or wrong or illegal or unlawful or dangerous or harmful or any of the bad things, but if I wanted, I could go out and enforce the law. That's correct. I can go enforce the law just as quickly as I can go break the law. But I'm not going to. We can all enforce the law. We don't need the Supreme Court's permission. We don't need Joe Biden's permission. You just have to be willing to trade your life for your freedom. At some point, folks, we're all going to have to make that decision. My life or my freedom. I have to be willing to risk one to guarantee the other. And without freedom, there is no life. So you may as well be dead anyway. And a lot of people come to that conclusion when things get that bad. You wonder what makes a bunch of Haitians go, you know what? Let's take some guns and go overthrow the government. What makes the military of Niger say, you know what? We've had enough of this puppet government. Let's overthrow it. Or European farmers who say, you know what? I've had enough of this unelected group of fucking bureaucrats in the European Union. Tell us what we can and can't do for a living. Tell us that farming isn't good and take away our land, our fertilizer, our seeds, our livelihood, etc. Now, are the farmers dying? No, they're not. No, but they're willing to spray liquid shit all over cops and government buildings. I think that's pretty damn righteous. But in Niger, yeah, they're risking their lives. In Haiti, they're risking their lives. Am I saying the Nigerians or the Haitians are good guys for doing that? No. I'm just saying it's important enough for them. What needs to happen in America for you to say, you know what, it's important enough for me to finally stand up? Well, if they went to you in your house and said, sit right on your couch and don't move, we're going to put all this pedophilia, these books from your kid's school, we're going to put them on your kitchen table and you can't fucking touch them. You can't cover them. You can't move them. They're not yours to touch. We're going to put all that pornographic gay shit on your table. Would that be enough for you to say, you know what, I'm not putting up with this shit anymore? Well, they're practically doing that, aren't they? They're practically doing it. How about if someone said, hey, give me your bank account number, and they make you give it to them. Then they say, I'm going to go steal your fucking money, whether you like it or not. And you're like, just leave me just enough money, please. Don't take it all. Just leave me enough to pay for my bills and my car and get some food, please. And so the government who's stealing your money says, we're going to do just that. We're going to leave you just enough to pay for your car, your food, and your house. And that's it. Fuck you otherwise. Is that enough to bring you out of your shell and make you stand up and fight? What do they need to do to you? Do they need to bring illegals from around the world that hate you on the basis of monetary jealousy? Right? Oh, yeah. Wealth jealousy? Religious hatred? That's what they're doing. They're bringing in illegals that hate you, your wealth, your money, your lifestyle that you have busted your ass for, and they hate your religion, of course, and not to mention your skin color. They hate you, but that's what the government's doing. When are you going to stand up for yourself? What else do they need to do? Well, maybe they'll allow a bunch of radical punks from colleges to interrupt the flow of traffic, detain you, threaten you, damage your property. You'll put up with that shit, right? At some point, where do you fucking stand up and say, I'll enforce the law? You stand right there. That's, folks, why I'm going to fucking Florida. Because if someone gets in front of me, they're going to become a speed bump. A speed bump. If someone wants to fuck with me, I'm not going to worry about being arrested for defending myself and others. They'll get blown right back out of the old bunker. Crazy shit, folks. All right, Chin Music, I got your email. He repeated a moniker I applied to Obama. I called him a Dumbo-eared fuckstick. And Chin Music says, now that's a t-shirt. Oh, you bet it is, brother. Dumbo-eared fuckstick. That was a good one. Every now and then I got a good one, you know. Okay. Now, speaking of that Dumbo-eared fuckstick Obama, one of his judges has made a ruling. That would be a federal judge. This federal judge, who is appointed by Obama, has ruled that illegals, folks, non-American citizens, can carry guns inside of the United States of America. This is so blatantly off the hook, stupid, as well as dangerous and illegal. And I know exactly, folks, exactly why this judge made that ruling. They want these illegals armed, and they want them to be able to shoot you. Now, foreigners, right? That's what they're calling them. Oh, you know, they're illegal immigrants. No, the foreign citizens, criminals. These are illegal immigrants, criminals. They can't buy guns legally, folks. I was at a gun store and I talked about the rules. I was like, hey, let me see that form. I took a look at the form, right? You have to be an American citizen. You can't be this. You can't be a criminal. You can't be taking drugs, right? You have to have, if you're a foreigner, you've got to have a fucking green card. Or no, you just can't even have a gun. You can't get a gun. Like if you check yes to any of those boxes from another country, using drugs, here illegally, here with a green, you check yes, no, no gun. But this fucking judge said that these criminals who are here illegally can carry guns. They can't buy guns, but they can carry them. Where the fuck are they going to get them? Where the fuck are these illegals going to get guns if they are not lawfully allowed to have them? Well, I guess they'll get them from private owners, right? Who don't require federal paperwork to transfer guns. But as far as these illegals go, they already proved to us all that they don't know the laws of the land, nor do they give a rat's ass. So who cares if they're going to carry guns, right? They're going to do it anyways. They're fucking criminals. The cool part is they don't understand the law. The cool part is they don't understand our culture. So that makes it really safe, right? Having people here who have brought their religious, political, social concepts into our country, and they want to enforce them on us the same way that these shall we say, Middle Eastern males who have kind of a jihadi attitude have brought their culture, their religion, their belief system and say, hey, look at those young blonde girls over there. I think I'll go rape them because in my culture, that's just fine. Maybe he can use a gun to do it and make it even more fun, right? That's how these fucking people think. Well, whatever makes my job easier to be a scumbag criminal. There you have it. There it is. There it is. Get your questions down below. We're going to have some fun with this one. I'm telling you, we're going to have some fun. Oh, good golly. Now, we know that President Trump has been attacked politically and legally by the radical anti-American Marxist leftists. Well, they're just trying to destroy his name, his good name. But I'll tell you what, guess what? They're going after Elon Musk now. CNN and other mainstream media are having a shit fit and a meltdown because Elon Musk is, quote, enormously influential. That's right. When he goes on his own Twitter X and leaves a comment, guess what? He influences the world. He's an influencer. Can you believe that? Well, now the radical fucking left on CNN would love for you to go eat a bag of dicks as well as suck them if Dylan Mulvaney wants to tell you to do so. And they think you should watch him and then buy his beer. But you can't have someone, who apparently has taken a lot of risks, was brilliant enough to put together a car company, right? Tesla. Elon Musk. Ooh, we can't have that. The media folks says he has corrosive venom. His words are corrosive venom. Unbelievable. Coming from people in the media who are absolute anti-American, anti-freedom, anti-white, anti-Christian, anti-law, and pro-pedophilia, pro-trans, and pro-illegal immigrants. Well, I sure hope that Elon Musk's venom, whether you want to think of it as corrosive or liberating, I hope it does destroy the liberal media. And folks, no one is running to the right. I have always sat right here in this chair and said freedom and liberty, Declaration and Constitution. And if you think we're going to give up any of that stuff, you can go fuck yourself. Period. The mainstream media and the socialists don't realize that they are the problems. That they are the ones who are running more and more and more to the political left. Left, 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 and left. And then they look at us and go, oh my God, you guys are awful. Look how far you guys have run. You are just absolutely awful. These fucking people. And they're not going to get any better or any smarter. Nope. 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 I mean, Elon Musk, his advertisement is devastating, they say, right? That it's exposing the migrant invasion, that the Democrats have a plan for a one-party country with all the illegals here that will vote for them. Folks, and Elon Musk is exposing him. That's why they say it's corrosive venom and he's dangerous, that he's influencing people. Yeah, you bet. The mainstream media is doing the same thing. They want to influence. It's just such poppycock. It's just bullshit. Democrats deny, they lie, they cheat, they steal. And they're terrified of losing that power, folks. And something like Twitter under Elon Musk is allowing other intelligent thought to come out and challenge them, present facts so that the Democrats cannot lie and deny. I tell you, know the truth and the truth shall set you free. Isn't that a saying? In any event, let's do this. Let us, if we shall. Let's go to the inner circle. right, all right, all right. I'm going to start with Chin Music. This is what he has to say. He says, hey, Georgie boy, meaning Georgie Stephanopoulos. Georgie definitely spent time on all fours in the Senate chamber. Well, George Stephanopoulos used to work for the Clintons. He was their press secretary. And he actually plays, or his role is portrayed in the movie Mars Attacks by Martin Short, who basically plays George Stephanopoulos. Just a little squealy, squirmish douchebag. In any event, folks, yeah, Georgie, a lot of questions about this guy. Now, is he gay? I don't know. Is he gay? I don't really care. What I do know is he's a little asshole, and he's a liar, and he's a sellout, just like the rest of the mainstream media. And you and I, all of America, should not be afraid to call him a liar. I disagree with him. You're a liar, George. You're full of shit. Same with the rest of the media. And we need to keep saying it. We need to keep saying it. Stop giving these people a fucking pass and call them on their shit. Okay, let's go on to the next comment. Let's see. Well, Barking Wolf Spider has this to say. Corruption is such a wonderful thing. I'll tell you what. Let's put the shoe on the other foot, shall we? What if Republicans were in charge of the House, of the Senate in Washington, D.C.? Let's just say they had a massively strong majority in the Supreme Court and that the president was a Republican. Can you imagine the howls of anger and fear from the left? You wouldn't even have to do anything. And the Republicans are famous for not doing anything when they have authority. They wouldn't have to do a fucking thing. The fear alone of the potential of corruption frightens the shit out of Democrats and the media. I mean, just the idea of Trump alone getting to Washington, D.C., they're like, we fear democracy is going to be destroyed by this man. Right? That's what they say. That's what they think. That's their scare factor. That's what they believe. Imagine. But they think when their president is Joe Biden, who is a lying, cheating, stealing, thieving, sack of fucking blackmailing shit. I can't say enough good things about the man, right? He will do whatever he wants, and everyone's like, oh, that's great. Yeah, you know, Joe. They're not afraid of Joe corruption. They're not afraid of Nancy Pants corruption or Chuck Schumer corruption or Ketanji Brown Jackson. The epitome of fucking stupid being raised to a level of authority that is so far beyond her intellectual capacity, yet she thinks she should be there. Talk about a diversity, equity, and inclusion pick. What a fucking insult to the concept of the intelligent human. In any event, corruption. It's a wonderful thing if it's Democrat corruption, but good golly. Oh my gosh. Trump? Unbelievable, folks. Unfucking believable. Barking Wolf Spider, thank you very much. Yeah, quite frightening, is it not? All right, let us continue. I see that we've got a lot of great stuff to talk about, and it is, let's go with Chin Music again. He says, John, it's a blitzkrieg of stupid whack-a-mole with terrible ideas. You know, when I remember back when I was a child, you and your friends want to go do something. We're going to go fishing. We're going to go do some hunting. We're going to go play some sports. You want to play some video games? Someone would say something stupid like, hey. I mean, right. What would a stupid friend say, right? I don't fucking know. I mean, how many right? It's 100 degrees out and your friend's like, let's go play football at the field. And you're like, dude, we'll fucking die of heat stroke, right? You don't, in the middle of summer, go play football in the middle of the field. No, everyone, all your friends would be like, shut up, and throw fucking popcorn at them or whatever. That's a dumb idea. You know, the Democrats, though, they have a blitzkrieg of stupid, the most terrible ideas. And there's no one there to tell them how stupid they are that they'll listen to. In fact, blitzkrieg, lightning attack, is what that means. It was actually a tank. Blitzkrieg was a tank warfare concept that was invented not by Rommel and the Germans, but it was invented by a British tank commander, and it was adopted by the Nazis. But that blitzkrieg, lightning attack, we are getting a lightning attack from the Democrats. And you know it, and I know it, Chin, right? We've got an education attack. We've got a military attack. We've got a financial attack. We've got a legal attack. We've got, you know, all your rights are being attacked. It's blitzkrieg. They're coming at us 100% in your face. You can't escape it. It's that bad. All right, let us continue if we can. Let's roll on down. Here we got, we've got name redacted. He says, weird to free that I hear chains rattling with every little movement. I don't know what that means, man. Here we go. We're so free. I hear our chains rattle with every little movement. Yeah, that's how free we are, right? Imagine if you had chains, you know, handcuffs with chains hanging off your arms, your wrists, your legs, right? A waist chain. Every time we try to do something, the chain puts a stop to everything. You can hear the chains rattle. You want to go to the store? You feel the chains of slavery on you. You want to go to work? You feel the chains of taxation, registration, regulation. That's how free we are. You want to try and do anything, and you can feel government holding you back. I hear exactly what you're saying, and that's how that works. And Name Redacted wants to be funny, so he says those ears, as in Obama's Dumbo handles, those are Big Mike's grab handles, and that's an awful, awful thought. Awful thought. Where else are we going? I'm looking for all caps. Dame Redacted says this. He says, hey, look, the enemy is a cult. That is true. The enemy is a cult. The Democrats are a cult, and we've described it. Get your questions down below in all caps, please, and we'll get to you coming up very quick here. The enemy is a cult. The Democrats, folks, they're not just a political party. They have ideas that are so foreign to the idea, concepts, and beliefs of freedom that they are like aliens from the planet Jupiter. They're not here. They believe that the government is the source of all power and authority on the planet. And therefore, the government can take all of your rights and privileges. They can take your life if they want, as well as your money and your property and your children. That belief system has nothing to do with reality. Nothing. The Democrats, folks, their politics, their policies, their beliefs. I don't know if you recall, they're trying to make abortion a political issue in this campaign. I think it's a non sequitur, but the Democrats are going to try to do anything they can to get traction and to turn off Democrats who have decided they should vote for Trump. But I want to refresh you. They are a cult of death. Not only do they want abortion pills, the day after pill, You know, you go to an orgy, you get gangbanged by 30 dudes. And so you're like, I better take one of those abortion pills because that wasn't a good move last night. But, you know, I'm a Gen Zer and I'm an idiot, so who cares? No. Not only do they want the abortion pill, they want, abortions. And in fact, do you or do you not recall the fact that Democrats are calling for postpartum abortion? That is to say, birth a baby and kill it. Let it die. And that's still fine. That's how sick Democrats are. They are a cult of death. They're a cult of thieves. Government can steal all your money. They've got no problem. They can steal money and redistribute it to themselves or the people. It doesn't matter. That is using the ultimate power, human power, that is, the power of government to steal from people. They're a cult. They believe government is all powerful, that government is better than any individual, that no individual right or liberty should exist, that all life is a privilege under government. That is a concept, folks, which, by the way, is not new to the world, but it was archaic for hundreds of years. The idea that government can do what it wants and people have to submit to it. That idea was banished by the Declaration of Independence and banished even further and chained in hell by the Constitution. But it has loosed itself from those chains because of Democrat policies, Democrat court decisions, and Democrat progressive, shall we say, lies through the media. They're absolute scum, folks. They'll do anything it takes to steal and destroy. Oh, yeah. You'll own nothing and you'll like it. You'll eat bugs. Eat the bugs. And you'll sacrifice your children on the altar of the cult of Democrats. They're incredible, folks. They're absolutely incredible. And when I say incredible, I don't mean that. I don't mean that as hyperbole. And yes, Mr. Redacted, the cult of democracy, its tenets, its credo lines up perfectly with the same belief systems and concepts of Satanism, of evil. Right? The idea of a king that can decide to kill his people because they're his people. Well, instead of having one king, they just have a group of elites. Right now, we've got King Biden trying to tell us he can do whatever he wants. Down in Brazil, they have their own little king. His name is King Lula. He is a socialist. He is a Marxist communist. He is a felon who spent time in prison and somehow managed to be elected over an incredibly popular president named Juan Bolsonaro. He was Brazil's president while Trump was president. Well, now Lula, folks, he is indicting through his regime the former president Bolsonaro. Can you imagine that? This cult, folks, knows no bounds, nor does it have boundaries. It goes from country to country. The United States used to have a Star Wars quality force field around it to protect us from all of this left-wing socialist crap that was out there. We had banished it from our country, but now it is in our country, having been snuck through the cracks. It has been fed with little pieces of shit and lies for years until they got enough people in positions of influence. Influence in politics, influence in schools, influence in business, influence in the military, And now they've gone from being mere influencers to dictators. And I mean that with a capital D on the dick. Unbelievable, folks. What is going on? The enemy is a cult? You bet it is. All right. We're taking this cult all the way, right? As a tractor beam to hell. Well, that's another little Star Wars reference. Get your comments, your thoughts in down below, folks. This is the second half of the show. It is the Inner Circle, and it's your chance if you're here live, right? And if you're on YouTube watching this a couple hours after we do the live broadcast, share that internet address up there. Make sure you've subscribed. Hit the thumbs up. Do all you can to help push fact and truth out there. Fact and truth, yeah. Yeah. Bolsonaro is being prosecuted for falsifying his vax records. Unfucking believable, folks. You bet. And this is what Bolsonaro says. Here's his quote. Quote, "The world knows that I didn't take the vaccine." End quote. So how, if his vax records are falsified, what does that have to do with him? Is he responsible for his own records that the government keeps? Just fucking, it's stupid. It is stupid beyond stupid. Just unbelievable. I tell you what, let's switch gears a little bit and let's go to the Pfizer files and taking a wild guess. And we're back. Okay, what are we looking at? Darcy T sent me an email saying, "Hey, we've got another Jim Jones juice victim potential. You get to decide. You get to take a wild guess. Super athlete, former NHL player Chris Simon suddenly died. His children and family say it's a sudden loss. Father, son, brother, friend, and teammate is how he was referred to in a NHL public announcement. Right, okay, no cause of death has been given. That sounds just like the mainstream media not wanting to tell us what the cause of death was. But words like suddenly and sudden loss and, well, a perfectly healthy person who was a super athlete is now dead. Another one, folks, like I say, we try and cover the, how do I put this? People that would make a difference, right? I'll use the dead people to point out how famous and popular they are so that we recognize them, right? It's not going to get better. It really isn't. These people are going to keep pushing their crap. Now, I want to switch gears again with you. And I want to run over to Europe. I'm going to run over to Europe. Get your questions, your comments in all caps down below. Folks, get this. Get this. In Europe, a general of a nation, the top general of the Polish military, wants to let you and me know how bad, how big the destruction is in Ukraine. I've called it genocide. I'm waiting for other political leaders to say, you know what? It's starting to look like genocide caused by Zelensky. Well, this general, folks, says, quote, Ukrainian losses must be counted in the millions, not hundreds of thousands. What does this man know? What does he know? Folks, when the military can't find any young men, when the Ukraine military tells transgender, weenie-tucking freaks, get your ass to boot camp, you're going to war. You know there's a shortage of real men. When the military in Ukraine is recruiting old men, old women, people with handicaps, anyone they can to get them in the military. It tells you that the prime age group, men age 18 to 30, that they would consider being in the military, folks, crazy. It's absolutely crazy. Yeah, it could be millions of people. That's why they don't have anyone left. It's unbelievable what is going on over in Ukraine. It is. Now, there's just a ton of crazy shit. In reference to what we're just talking about, name redacted says, wait till you find out what our ordinance was used for. What is he talking about? Our ordinance. The United States government, that is to say Biden, and Congress, who voted for this shit, sent our bombs, our rockets, our artillery, our missiles. We sent it over to Ukraine, and what was it used for? They're not going to tell you, folks. No. That's not how they do this. It's not how they do it. They're not going to tell us, but we'll have people, it'll slip out. We've seen the vehicles, the privately owned vehicles that have what? Military equipment in the back of them being sold. Yeah. I'm sure the ordinance was used for a lot of very, very, very bad stuff. Now, Ukraine, they're having political problems. The military, you bet. Thank you, name redacted. I'm going to get to the P-man here in a minute. You know, this entire thing has been a sham. In Ukraine, Zelensky is not loved. He has silenced the media, silenced political opposition, silenced public opposition, silenced even the clergy, confiscated property, thrown people in jail, and even executed them. When you're sent to the front lines, folks, you're being executed. Right? That's Zelensky. And he got in a fight with one of his generals. I believe his name is Zaluzhny. Right? They had to end up firing him. And there is political turmoil. Meanwhile, in Russia, and Mikey G has this. He says, Putin was reelected with 80% plus voting. He is incredibly popular. Yes, he is. He is reelected in a massive landslide. Massive landslide. And now Putin, who is that popular, says that Russia is going to create a buffer zone, a security buffer between Ukraine and his country, and it's to shield Russia from Ukraine attacks. Well, let's see. If Ukraine is butted up against Russian Federation states, former Ukraine territory, then that means Ukraine can roll right up to the border and start launching shells, artillery, weapons into Russia. So this buffer zone must be something interesting. It sounds like Putin is going to impose his will over Ukraine's sovereignty, their own territory. Like he's going to say, you're not allowed to have any military equipment, military personnel, tanks, equipment, anything within, let's just say, 500 miles of the Russian border. He can say whatever he wants, and he can impose his will over Ukraine's sovereignty. And I'll ask this question. Who is going to stand up to Putin? Are those who blew up his pipelines, Nord Stream 1 and Nord Stream 2 pipelines that fed Europe their energy? Are those the ones who are going to stand up to him? Are the ones that are going to stand up to him the same ones that need his oil, gas, and uranium? Who's going to stand up to Putin? Operation Russian Sea Shield. That's what Name Redacted says it is. Yeah, Putin is incredibly powerful. He doesn't have to. He doesn't have to listen to anyone in the West. He's kicked everyone's ass. He's done it pretty well. He's fought off Ukraine with British, American, and other mercenary troops. He's foiled and rejected Pentagon, NATO military tactics because they are like Gen Z. They live in a fucking fantasy land. And I want to remind everyone that the military officers, the younger ones, your field grade officers, your lieutenants and captains and majors, they're all a bunch of Gen Z whining bitches unless they understand what the Constitution is and what it stands for. Can you imagine that? These little Gen Zers being the one commanding troops? I doubt the troops respect them. I doubt it. I absolutely doubt it. Wow. Got a lot of funny shit out here. I tell you what, I just told you about the hockey player that died. I'm going to give you another one. That's right. Brought to you by the Jim Jones Juice. A 17-year-old student has collapsed playing soccer. Another youthful, dare I say, super athlete at college has collapsed and has died. Take a wild freaking guess. Take a wild guess. Well, thank you again, Darcy T, making sure we've got examples across the board of Jim Jones Juice victimhood. It's not going away, folks. As we speak out there right now, people are keeling over from the juice. People will never hear about, will never know. Nope. Except the few that get reported that make it onto the news cycle. Yeah, well, Putin knew he was going to win and win big. And interestingly, folks, Republicans, they love to throw victory. They will snatch victory from the jaws of defeat. Or no, wait a minute. They'll snatch defeat from the jaws of victory. A congressional candidate has sent out a pre-recorded I'm a loser speech, a concession speech, before the polls even closed. Folks, all across the country, you've got rhino Republicans just waiting, dying to get out there, join the political race, and then quit, give up. Everything that's going on is obvious. It is in our face. It is transparent. Now, I both have a lot of respect for Joe Rogan, and I have a lot of, you know what? He's no friend of mine. I don't really give a shit what he thinks. He's just another fucking guy. Half the time I agree with him. The other half, I'm like, what's wrong with you, man? Your fucking brain is broke. That said, Joe Rogan, folks, meaning everyday American, says the indictments of Trump, quote, look like you're trying to prosecute your political opponents. He's talking to the Democrats. He's calling Washington, D.C. a banana republic. If Joe Rogan sees it, everyone sees it. We all know it. Democrats are fine with corruption as long as they have power. Democrats are scared to death of losing that power for fear that everyone else is just like them. Evil, ignorant, corrupt, and deadly. That's what Democrats are. I don't give a fuck anymore. My family members, you want to be a Democrat? You're no friend of mine, because as a Democrat, you think my kids, my grandkids should be molested by drag queens or whoever can get their hands on them, including Joe Biden. If you're a Democrat, you think my money belongs to you and everyone else. If you're a Democrat, you think, right? You think the government owns me. Imagine what all the every fucking Democrat you drive by in your car, you drive by on your street, you walk by when you go to the park, go to the store, wherever you go, there's Democrats everywhere, and they think all of these thoughts, that your rights need to be taken, that you don't have a First Amendment or a Second Amendment. You have no rights or protection or privacy from the government. Oh, no. Not when they have power. Your money isn't yours. Your property isn't yours. Oh, no. Your car, you're just borrowing that from the government for now. They believe that shit, folks. And they're all around us, and they're here to steal and destroy, period. Steal and destroy, that is them. That is their cause célèbre, their reason to be, their raison d'etre. Are you prepared? Food, water, shelter, clothing, medicine, means of self-defense in your plan. Are you prepared? Godspeed, Semper Fi. I sure hope you are.